Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do this video to kind of update on my review of the Honeypot collection. My first video was just swatches and what I expected to like, so I wanted to take a minute and share my actual honest opinion after 2 days of using the products. I've been using everything, and I can honestly say I understand why people consider the primer potion to be a holy grail item. It's absolutely fantastic at keeping your eyeshadow in place. It really prevented any creasing, rubbing off. It is very hot and humid in Florida, and without that I do tend to lose my eyeshadow throughout the day. But with the primer potion, it didn't budge, it didn't crease, it stayed locked in place, and it looked phenomenal the whole day through. It kept the pigmentation, so that was one thing. The second thing was the eyeshadow palette itself. I love the eyeshadow palette itself. I feel that the colors are super pigmented. I think they're very blendable and just altogether wearable. I don't feel like I needed the full-size palette that they released, because I do feel like there are a lot of similarities between the Heat palette and the Honey palette. I felt like there were a lot of browns and oranges and golds that were very similar from palette to palette. And I do have the Heat palette. I love my Heat palette. So I didn't feel like I necessarily needed the full-size Honey palette. But with the 6-pan palette, I got exactly what I wanted from the Honey palette, and I can foresee me definitely using the two palettes together in the future. They definitely would complement each other quite a bit. I can really see blending the two palettes together and getting a whole lot more looks out of it. The eyeliner, I do want to give another try. I feel like with the colors in the Honey palette, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I wore it today and I feel like you can't even tell that it's there. It just matches so closely with some of the colors that it kind of just blends into the woodwork. I'd really like to give it a try with maybe some greens. I have a very neutral mini palette that I like using by Morphe. The Nudes, Just Nudes, something like that. It's just a little 3-pan palette that I think the eyeliner would look absolutely amazing with. I want to try and mix it up before I really have an opinion on the eyeliner. The setting spray, I never really know what setting spray does, or if it is as necessary as everyone thinks it was or is. That being said, my makeup did look great at the end of the day, so maybe the setting spray is as wonderful as everyone swears it is. I'm not somebody who typically uses setting spray, so take that as you will. Take that for what it's worth. But that being said, I 100% would give this an A+. I think it's absolutely worth the $60 I spent for it. Even if at the end of the day I don't end up getting as much use as I'm hoping I can out of the eyeliner, I feel like just for the eyeliner, with its wearability, its ability to be blended very easily, the great pigmentation that it has, I think that between that and the full-size eyeshadow primer, it is absolutely worth the price I paid. This is something I can see myself using quite a bit. As far as the eyeshadow goes, though, I did notice that today I used no eyeshadow primer. I just, as I previously would have before getting the eyeshadow primer, I used the eyeshadow, I just put it on top of my foundation over my eyes. I usually go in, I do my eyes first, but I do a little bit of foundation. I let that dry down a little bit, and then I'll put my eyeshadow on. And as I previously mentioned, that doesn't really work well for my eyeshadow. So I did that today like I normally would, just to kind of contrast and see how much of it was the eyeshadows and how much of it was the primer. I did that today, and within an hour I had all of the previous problems. I basically, just where my eyelid meets my eyelashes, I had like a thin line of eyeshadow left. The creases were where most of the rest of the eyeshadow was at. Up here on my brow bone, there was a little bit of glitter left, but other than that, there really wasn't much left to my eye look. So I have to say, the primer is definitely a must-have. Anybody who lives in a hot and humid place, just go ahead and do yourself the favor. Get an Urban Decay primer. It really is going to be a life changer for me, for my makeup look. I can already see that this is going to be something I am going to purchase again and again and again. Not necessarily in the honey, because I don't think that that's what's important. I mean, it's nice. It's got a gold tone to it. It definitely works very well with the eyeshadow palette. But that being said, regardless, I do feel like that is a product that in any of its many variations, I will be buying again and again. I do think that the honey bottle is really, really cute. I really enjoy the look and the aesthetic of the whole collection. But that being said, no, I don't think that you necessarily have to have the honey variety. But like I said, I definitely will be planning to buy the primer as soon as that one's run out. The setting spray, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the eyeshadow. I'm going to see how it looks without the setting spray, how it looks with the setting spray, kind of get an idea if that's really doing what I think it's doing. Hopefully the weather is changing here soon and we're going to see some cooler days, and that may sabotage my results a little bit, but wouldn't it be nice? That being said, I just did want to give an update because, like I said, I don't feel like you can really judge a makeup set, a palette, whatever it may be, just off of finger swatches on your arm. You have to really wear it, see what your feelings are about it. I definitely feel like this was money well spent. Knowing what I know now, I had it to do all over again. I would absolutely go back and buy this entire set again. I mean, just the primer alone. I mean, obviously it's not a $60 primer, but when you consider the fact that I love the eyeshadow palette and I love the primer, I would absolutely do it again just to discover how much love I have for both of those items. I mean, they're just really wonderful items, and that primer in particular is something that even if you are somebody who prefers drugstore brands, you need this primer in your life. It is absolutely worth the money. It is absolutely fantastic. Anybody who's having trouble keeping their eye looks lasting all day long, this is it. This is the fix that you need. This is the solution. I mean, I really can't say enough about it. I love it. The NYX eyebrow mascara, I'm actually using that currently. I did want to touch on that as well. I almost forgot because I was so busy raving about the eyeshadow primer that everybody but me already knew is wonderful. But that being said, I do like the NYX mascara for your eyebrows. I don't know if it would be as great for somebody who's very experienced with doing their eyebrows. It definitely gives me the feeling that it's more of a beginner tool. I can't see somebody who's maybe on a much higher professional level liking the same things that I like about it. As somebody who's just getting into doing my eyebrows though, it does make it very easy. It makes it very convenient. It makes it almost foolproof. I do have a very natural thick eyebrow, so I have been told by cosmetologists multiple times that I don't really need to be doing my eyebrows. I'm not somebody who really needs to spend a lot of time on their eyebrows. As long as they're tweezed, they tend to be very full, they tend to be very thick, they tend to be very dark. So I actually am very lucky in the eyebrow department, naturally, but I have decided recently that if for nothing else, I would like to tame them, kind of keep them in place all day long. So more for that than anything else, I've been getting into eyebrow products. I think the NYX product was amazing. I have had it on all day. I think it still looks wonderful. I think, especially when you consider that right now at Ulta, it is on sale for I think $5.25. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. For the price, especially if like me, you're a beginner, you're just looking to start doing your eyebrows, you're not really looking to spend a ton to tame them, you can't go wrong. $5.25 for a product that works beautifully and is really easy to use. It's really kind of foolproof, which I can prove because I made it work. But that's all. I just wanted to get on, kind of update my review, and say how I felt about everything after having actually used it. So if you're here, I was so happy to see how much support I felt like my first video got. I honestly thought, and I said it in my first video, that this would just be a great place for me to put my thoughts about makeup. To kind of feel like I'm not talking to myself while I'm talking to myself. But I was so encouraged by the support that I got for my first video. It's at over 40 views in a little over 24 hours. And I do know that 80% of that probably is people that I know. But I want to thank you all because that's so encouraging to know that even if you're only doing it because you love me, that people are taking the time out of their day to watch me ramble about makeup. It really made me feel good. Thank you so much. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you want to leave a like on the video. And please comment so I know who you are. I know a couple people who watched the video, but I don't know everybody who watched the video. Leave a little comment. Let me know who you are so I know who these people are that care enough to watch my videos. It really made me feel so good. I felt overwhelmed by the support. So thank you so much. Bye.